Hello, and welcome once again to Paranormal ASMR, a show on YouTube where we combine the soft-spoken language of ASMR with subjects of the paranormal and the supernatural. I can't say that I'm enjoying this series so far because I'm not getting a lot of feedback just yet. But so far, I've had some positive feedback. It's actually enjoyable to do something new, for me at least, exciting, as calm as I might sound with my voice. It's exciting to me to go on YouTube and kind of start over and just kind of express myself and be open and peaceful and calm and just kind of do my own thing. I'm enjoying it so far, and I enjoy expressing my thoughts and beliefs and feelings in a more open fashion where we can just say what we want. And remember, a lot of what I speak of is my personal beliefs, my personal feelings. Now these can't be measured in a strictly scientific sense, because I don't want that. I want you to take what you want from what I'm saying, and I want you to form your own opinions. And that's something that I want to stress here in every single video. Your opinion matters. How you feel and believe in things, what your interpretation of the world around you, that is so important to me. How can we share and express and get ideas out on the table if we're closed-minded, if we're putting up walls? That's not going to work. You've got to break down those walls. You've got to spread out these ideas, and you've got to see what works, and you've got to see what doesn't work. And the only way that works for both of us, you the viewer and me the artist, trying to get these ideas out, is to be open and not talk down to each other. See, what we do is we say, these are the facts. This is the only interpretation of the facts. And that works well when we're working with mathematical situations. It's the only way, actually, when discussing a mathematical situation. Now, what I'm referring to is an engineering problem or a scientific problem or research medical issue. The facts speak. You take the facts, whatever the result is, that is the only answer. You have to obey the laws of physics and math and apply them in your life for very good reasons, and these reasons are health, safety, and advancement of your society. Yes, that's the only way to look at these problems. But the situation we're discussing faith issues. We're discussing the supernatural, something that is not of this dimension, not of this world, a creation of another time and another place, another space in the universe. And these problems are faith issues. Faith. It's not what you believe in a mathematical, factual way. It's what you feel, what you see in your mind, how your mind interprets it through faith and through emotion and feeling. This is what we are discussing here. And the reason I want to talk like that with you is I do care about how you feel. And I do care about how you interpret this huge world that we live in. And it's what you do with these interpretations and feelings. That's how you get by day to day. And I think we've forgotten that. We've forgotten that in your daily experience, how you interpret your world matters. We don't take the time to talk to each other. We don't take the time to allow people to express their feelings and emotions and get them out where they can function and feel part of the universe around them. Instead, we do this. We build walls. And that's not what this show is about. Now, if you want to discuss how we get a spaceship from the Earth to Pluto, that's a strictly scientific, mathematical, physics issue, and it's all about the facts. But if you want to discuss whether or not there's life on another planet, or whether or not life existed before man on this planet, that there were many creations in the past, and evolution, and some spiritual questions that come into whether or not there are higher deities in the world, and creatures coming from different worlds, these aren't scientific factual issues. Now, they can be laid out before you in a scientific way, in a very factual manner. But for our discussion today on this show, we're only going to talk about what we believe, what we interpret, and the reason for that is we want people to feel welcome with each other. I want you to feel welcome here. I want you to feel welcome to speak about your issues. And you're not going to do that if I talk down to you and say, this is the way it is. Now, in my last video, I said, I don't personally believe ghosts exist. I believe they're creations from another dimension, higher beings that influence our lives. They're not lost souls of human beings that have passed on. That's my personal belief, but I want to stress, I want you to feel that, okay, that's what I think, but here's what I think you think in return, and I want you to feel okay with coming to me with how you feel about it. And make your own mind up. Make your own choices. That's the only way this works. That's the only way. Now, in my last ASMR video, and you can see a link for it here below, we discuss ghosts. And ghosts are, in my mind, more like a Nephilim angel or demonic figure. A being that lives in a different dimension, different world, different plane of existence than what we do. To keep it simple. Aliens, I believe, could be Nephilim as well. They could be angels that came down to give messages using technology that we interpret now as spaceships, as flying saucers, as powerful rocket ships. I also believe Nephilim, the fallen angels, were talked about in several books in the past, the Bible, the Torah. These Nephilim fallen angels came down and mated with human beings, the human species, and produced offspring. Now, these are legendary stories. These aren't necessarily factual stories. But these stories do exist in many cultures that were separated through time and through history and through geography, that these beings came down. Now, it's possible that a lot of the aliens that the human race came in contact with were Nephilim. When I say Nephilim, we're talking about angels or demons. The sons of God, not the sons of Adam, the sons of man. Now that's a possible explanation. Now, we also have these little bug-eyed gray aliens. We used to in the 50s, when, older time period, 1950s, we used to have the little green Martians. Once we realized Mars didn't have life on it, we started to think, well, maybe these gray aliens are from a further place, farther out, from a star, not a planet next door. And we started to think of these aliens as invaders, kidnapping people, mating with our daughters to produce hybrid beings. If you take these stories out of their own context, they start to resemble each other. In the Christian Bible, they talk about the fallen angels came down and laid with the daughters of men, produced legendary beings like Hercules, and that these beings came from this hybrid coupling. Now we say, well, my child's a star child. My child was a offspring of this alien technology, this abduction, this alien coupling, and it produced this offspring that is part alien and part human, for maybe to save a species, save our own species or theirs. These stories are very, very similar to ancient stories on this subject. So it makes me think, what is going on here? What really is happening? Are these just legends that we've replaced? Okay, angels and demons, we took them out. We took them out as a society, and we added in alien. Okay, angels and demons gone. Alien. Now that's the legendary creature. That's the otherworldly spiritual creature that is doing this to us. Okay, it's not us. It's this power over us, and it's suppressing us. It's adding this uncontrolled other element to our civilization that we can't stop. We can't control it. We can't quantify it. We can't wrap our thinking around it and make it stop. It's out of our hands. What are we doing to ourselves? Well, let's talk about it. On the one hand, we could say, okay, I'm out of control here. I'm not in control of my destiny. My destiny is predisposed. And it's because of this issue. Not God, not fate in a biblical sense, or a spiritual sense. Let's just put it that way. But now I'm being controlled by this creature, this being, this element that comes down from another place, a heavenly body. Like I said, not spiritual, but from another planet. And he controls the outcome of my life, my existence. So I could do all the things that I'm supposed to do, and I could just live a normal life. But it won't matter, because in the end, the results will be the same because of this alien addition to my life. Now, I don't think that's what's going on. That's not how I feel. I feel from time to time, for different reasons, aliens came to this world. Now, there were reasons. One, they might have been trapped. Our planet could be, we don't know this. We don't know this yet through fact. We know this maybe through our feelings or emotions. I look out into the solar system, and our universe, there's all these stars, but there's so far only a few planets that you can live on, that you can land on, that you can function as a normal human being, in the sense that the gravity, the atmosphere is correct. You can't land on Venus, at least as far as we understand it, because the pressure at sea level would crush your ship. Saturn, Jupiter, these planets aren't hospitable probably to anyone because of the surface pressure. You can't really land there. You could sit on top of the atmosphere, but if you had to do repairs to your ship, repairs to your civilization, per se, you couldn't land on those planets and perform intricate surgeries and ship repairs and star drive repairs because they're just too deadly a planet to peacefully get regular work done. No, in this case you have to go to planets with some atmosphere to protect you from radiation and X-rays. You want to go to a planet with a little bit of atmosphere, pretty peaceful, not real bad weather, not real bad surface pressures. Those planets are a little fewer and farther in between, and the Earth and Mars, maybe even potentially the dark side of our moon, these planets, and there's some asteroids that might fit into that, they work better as oases, as islands, as maybe stop-off points in the universe. Do I think aliens may have landed in a lifeboat of the planet Earth in the past? Yes. Do I think they might have genetically modified certain creatures, certain animals, certain plants, maybe even for their own needs? Yes, it's possible. Do I think we are a very good place to get water, higher proteins, food sources? Yes. And that might be a reason why aliens have stopped here. Just like anybody would stop on an island and fish clams out of the surf and get fish and get coconuts. Think of it in that sense. We do it on a small scale. Why isn't it possible that aliens do it as well? Okay. Do I think they came down for religious reasons? To make us worship them as quote-unquote gods? Yes. I do think it's possible, but I think in the terms of our own history, it's semi-unlikely. I think the stories and the legends that we have had passed down to us about creatures that took people up into heaven and different things, those weren't aliens as we describe them in the otherworldly creatures like us. I think those stories reflect Nephilim, angels and demons that came down in transportation devices from wherever they came from, interdimensional or from another world or from heaven, some space above us that's in another plane of existence. It's not up in the sky, it's not out in outer space, it's in a different plane of existence, a different dimension. I think those stories lend to Nephilim stories, angels and demons, not aliens. I don't think the two are the same. Now, do I think there are times that lured aliens here because they saw civilization doing specific things that drew them to us? Yes. We started sending out radio signals, and our radio signals would be picked up by alien races. Now, these alien races already have this technology, and they already know something else. They know how warlike, how dangerous two species coming together can be. They would have prior knowledge and prior history of when two species came together from two different distant planets and met, that some good things but many bad things happened from that coupling. Just like on our planet, when we went from Europe to Australia, Europe to North America, North and South America, Central America, not everything in that human history coming together was in any way, shape, or form a positive. There were many negatives, there were many bad events that happened from it. These races would want to insulate themselves from us. They would study, but they would also come here to see what we're all about, to see what we're doing with this radio technology, to see what we're doing with it. The second event came very, very, very soon in our time span after the first, and that was the launching of atomic weapons. Dealing with atomic weapons is a real bugger. They're just not good to have in the neighborhood. They're not good for people running around with having them in their toolbox. You could be as advanced a society as you want, what you don't want, because we know constants in the universe. There's constants. One of those constants in the universe is radiation. And the fact that everybody in the universe has to deal with radiation and X-rays and protect themselves from it. Some species are probably better than others at doing that. But one thing is for sure, you don't want to come in contact with another race, another country, another group of people that have the ability to just let one of these things go. Keep it simple. So, where does that tie into what we're talking about today? Do I believe aliens came to this planet after the atomic age started? Yes. Most certainly, yes. And the reason I believe this, not that I see the facts. I don't know whether Roswell in 1940s was real or a weather balloon. But what I do know is that if you're an alien species, you see these radio waves, and then you see atomic weaponry, you see missiles, you see rockets, you see people launching out in outer space. What's the next development? Launching an atomic weapon into outer space. And it's something that they have prior history and knowledge of. We do not at this time. And you have to think, okay, these people on the planet Earth that go around the sun called Sol, they need monitored. Because you never know when they're going to find another species on another planet or want to test one of these nuclear weapons in outer space or test it on another planet to see what kind of effects it'll cause. It's been suggested through different research that atomic weaponry could help start up terraforming on another planet. So it just hasn't happened yet. Human beings haven't used nuclear devices to terraform or change a planet on a grand scale. But it is possible. And believe me, if there's any aliens out there, they know other races, other communities in this grand universe that have tried this stuff. And the last thing they want is for us to know about them. They do not want us to know where they are. Do I believe there's aliens out there? Part of me thinks the silence of the universe speaks to us in volumes. The fact that we hear utter silence from the species of the universe, if that's what it is, should make human beings as a race so utterly sad. They're not talking to us at all. They're not speaking back. We've been sending out radio signals that have probably been picked up by traveling ships, traveling species in other worlds. Our signals have passed them, went through their area, yet we are not receiving signals back or attention back. because they don't want to talk to us right now. And there's a good reason for it. Our short history is so littered with atrocities and mistakes and horrible solutions to problems. We invent the radio, we figure out a way to use it for warlike purposes. We invent atomic energy, one of the first applications of it. And some for medical use, but mostly is for warlike reasons. We invent rockets. We're an answer to try to help a country win a war. And so on, and so on. Profit and war. Kind of the industrial machine kind of drives this world right now. So we have to be honest with ourselves. And we have to start to look at what the bigger problem is. If you want to be part of this universe, you need to decide where you fit in. Are you part of the building blocks that builds up and creates? Or are you part of the building blocks that tear it down and destroy and annihilate? I know it's something we don't like to talk about on a one-on-one level. But are you contributing to destruction? Or are you building towards a better future, towards hope, towards love, towards a future where there is a future? You can see it. You can feel this future. You can feel it here in your heart, in your soul. Or are we strictly just a monetary and strictly a here today, gone tomorrow kind of person? There's nothing wrong with people making money and supporting their families. There's nothing wrong with people paying their bills. Feeling good about that. You know, you paid your bills, you got some money left over. How you earned it, you know, that's between you and God, you and your Creator, you and your conscience. And I'm not going to judge that. I'm not. Not in what we're discussing today. But what I want you to think about on a philosophical level is, do you really expect today, the 21st century, some of the issues that we're dealing with in mankind on a global scale? Now, we have global issues. We're not going to go too far into all those today. Do you really think that anybody wants to talk to us right now? Are we listening to our conscience? Are we listening to our Maker? Are we asking any higher power in the universe, God, devil, whatever the case may be, good or evil, are we asking in a karmic sense as a species for higher reasoning and wisdom to deal with these global issues that are striking us down, tearing down our society, stagnating our society on so many levels? Or are we looking inwardly for the first time, and I think a long time in human history, and saying we've got some serious problems. We've got some global disease epidemics. We have some spiritual issues. We have horrible cultural issues. We have economic and industrial issues. The industrial age brought us this far, but did it really solve any problems by putting a toaster in everybody's house? It's great we have refrigeration, but did it really advance us as a society? Did it really take us to the next level as a society? Are we really any better off than we were 2 centuries ago? Not 1, 2 centuries ago. get down to it, look at the people around us, not the human race. Look out. Potentially Nephilim, angels and demons, potential other species, other alien races. Give them the benefit of the doubt for just a moment. Give your maker, no matter who you think he is, no matter what you call him, give them the benefit of the doubt. And look at this historic moment in our development, in our times. They're doing the right thing. They're not talking to us. They're not making it easy. They're making us work it out between ourselves. The silence that we hear in the universe all around us, it should be deafening. Deafening to every world leader, every citizen, every child, every mother and father in the universe right now, in this world I mean. That silence should be deafening. Not condemning. Not condemning. That's what this is. And isn't that what we talked about in the beginning of this? This gets us nowhere. This finger pointing, that, I know it's an old wisdom story, but this one finger pointing that way, look, there's three pointing right back at yourself. And right now, we don't need anything except ourselves to look at the problems and start to solve them as a society, as a world, global society, amongst ourselves. And I really believe that because we're not hearing any voices. We've been given the tools, the knowledge, and the time to discover ourselves as a society, a global society, a global economy, a global population, where people in Kansas are concerned with how people in Africa are dying, and people in Great Britain are helping put the tools together to solve problems on the other side of the globe. Where countries like Japan are still doing ancient ritualistic killing of animals, at the same time they're developing technologies that are probably going to help advance society for the next several centuries, to make the human race go on as an interplanetary species. You've got to look at the whole picture and not condemn, not point fingers, not blame. We, as a society, have got to start opening up our minds, our souls, and our lives to each other, and see that it's our differences, it's our diversities, it's our technologies, our religions, our rituals, and our loves and our hates that make us all come together and keep this world turning. And there's solutions, and there's also failures. And right now, we have to work them out amongst ourselves before we're going to start hearing these voices again that we do believe are out there in the universe. That's what I think. aliens, alien visitations, alien abductions, real or not, fact or fiction? What do you think, Michael? I think yes, I think they do exist. I think they're there. But I think at this point they're waiting for us to answer these questions ourselves. We need to quit being so hard on ourselves as a race, as a species, as a global community. Quit taking out pieces of flesh from each other in a spiritual, physical, and mental way. And quit doing this. And start doing this. And you might start to do this. You might start to hear something. You might start hearing something out there in the wilderness of the universe. That soft brush of wind against your cheek that says, you're not alone. As I like to talk about in my videos, maybe there is a better place, a better world, and a better time. And the time to start to discover that is now. So in your heart, if you have fear and anguish and worries about things that we probably can't control at this time, start to look at in your own life, how do I interpret all of these events, put them all together, pile them all up in a big ball in front of you, as big as the whole world, all of these problems, and stop being weighed down by them, and start giving them up, putting them away, throwing them out, expelling these negative feelings and emotions on your life, and start letting more positive, wholesome, constructive ideas, feelings, and emotions into your life. Maybe one at a time, one person at a time, one community at a time, one nation at a time, we can start to come together and help one another in a more positive fashion. And hear those voices. Start to learn our place in a more universal community, in a more universal world, where we're not an island anymore, but part of a chain of islands that lead to a greater and more complex continent of species. It is possible. I hope this talk helped you today to feel better, to help you feel more relaxed and more welcome in this world community. I hope it spoke to you somewhere and helped you better understand how aliens may or may not be interacting in the world. I appreciate all your comments, and if you share my video, I would greatly appreciate that at this time. Subscriptions are always nice, but only subscribe if you like my channel. Only share if you like my video. And only comment if you think you have something you want to put forward in a positive or negative fashion. I do appreciate comments, even if they're negative, because through constructive criticism, maybe we can build a better video next time. Thank you. I appreciate all your support, and I hope to see you soon. Until next time, bye-bye.